What is up? What is up? Man, we are black, melanated, and highly favored in this piece. Man, what is going on? Man, what is going on? You already know who the fuck I am. Clown ass nigga, you already know who the fuck I am. Broke as a joke. My money is funny and my change is strange in this bitch. So you already know who the fuck I am. I'm just like everybody else. We all broke in this motherfucker. So shout out to everybody out there that's handling business. Erica, what's happening? I see you. You already know what it is. Man, another day we made it back in the building. Crib, house, tilt. That's what we call it in California. Tilt, cribbage, shit like that. Made it another day. I guess if you want to pray to Cesare Borgia, then, pray to him. If that's what you want to do, go ahead and do that, nigga. Shout out to everybody out there at the Court Plantation. You already know how it is. It's not fun. That's one thing I just want to state this right now. It is not fun for melanated people to be fully integrated into a system that the rules are already against us and the deck is stacked against us. So no melanated person is going to be all excited, not in that context. Yeah, everybody's excited to have their job, their Court Plantation where they can feed their family, but motherfuckers need to stop job shaping a nigga because the nigga ain't walking around here jumping for joy and singing, just doing whatever, Nah, black folk, you have a right to be upset, man. So shout out to everybody that is melanated, that's upset that they have to be at the Court Plantation, because if your family has built this country, your forefathers built this country, you are a descendant of a slave, you are a foundational black American, as Tariq would say, native black, as Dr. Claude Anderson would say. If you come from one of them, which I know I do, then you should not be happy to be going to somebody's motherfucking job every day in that context. Because niggas will take it out of context. I'm talking about in the context of, hey man, there is something that is owed to us, and it's so funny that we won't discuss those things, but we'll talk about everything else. So shout out to everybody out there that's at the Court Plantation right now, maneuvering within and out of this matrix, you know what I'm saying, and dealing with all the anti-black racist hate and subtleties that they throw, the little nuances and tidbits that they do. They'll say shit like, oh, the Chinamen, that's so sad what we did to the Chinamen after they built the railroads. Your job is to respond and not react. And if you have education, which education is the key, and I'm talking about self-education and, the groundwork that people like John Henry Clark and just all our, and Dr. Ivan Van Sertima and Dr. Francis Cress Welsing and Professor James Smalls and Dr. Phil Valentine. These people have left so much knowledge for us. We gotta obtain it. So shout out to everybody out there that is seeking knowledge. Hey, what's going on, Squidhead? I see you. You know me, man. Just another day, man. Man, it's been so much going on, so much to discuss, and it just doesn't surprise me. It's sad. I can only, what keeps replaying in my mind, that's why I wanted to do that podcast on Kwame Brown, because it was a very interesting podcast, and I still got his name up there, because shout out to Kwame Brown, man. That nigga's speaking some real shit. It's fucked up, man, but what he's saying is true, and it's no diss. I really like it when we know how to come together, like Voltron, you know what I'm saying? Or like the Power Rangers, or like how the Dominant White Society does. Yeah, we like to see interesting things because we like to see what a person's gonna say back, but I think Kwame Brown has shocked the world. And what we should start doing is supporting his business and supporting what he do and get behind him. And stop trying to seek and destroy what he's doing. Stop trying to criticize and ridicule what he's doing, because honestly, to tell you the truth, didn't nobody thought that he had the voice. Didn't nobody thought that he had it in him. Most people counted him off, going by what other people said. But hopefully those brothers, him, Matt Barnes, Steven Jackson, Stephen A. Smith, all of them people get together, sit down behind closed doors and work out their issues, because at the end of the day, it's about being on code. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how that relates to working at the Court Plantation. We're going to talk about how anybody outside of melanated black folk, if they're a part of the dominant society, they should be monumental on making sure that there's no dysfunction when it comes to melanated black folks. foundational black Americans as well, because a lot of times the dominant society, they get behind it and they push that negative agenda because they want to see niggas fighting. But you don't never see them pushing two white Jewish people fighting. You don't never see them pushing two white people with positions of power. You don't never, just for instance, do you ever see the owners of NBA basketball teams fighting each other in the media? No, whatever they got going on, it's handled behind closed doors. So we're going to talk about that. So shout out to everybody that is at the Core Plantation that may have a disagreement with a fellow melanated brother or sister or a foundational black American or just a melanated brother sister. They might be a non-foundational black American, but you have a disagreement. You know how to have that disagreement behind closed doors and keep it moving. So shout out to everybody that's doing that. Shout out to everybody out there that's not begging, not coming to work, telling all they fucking business. There's a lot of niggas that be doing that shit, and we as a people need to start pulling people to the side, checking them coattails and be like, hey, stop doing that. But we gonna get into it, man. We gonna talk about the Baton Rouge Police Department again. I've done like 4 or 5, but this doesn't surprise me. This is the home of Madame Lalaurie, the white woman that was kidnapping niggas and doing. It's like she had a hostel. I got that book. I haven't read it. I just read like the basically the kind of cliff notes on it to kind of see what I was getting to, and I was like, I damn near dropped the book and wanted to burn it. I said, oh, this was an evil white motherfucker right here. So shout out to everybody out there. Shout out to all my Louisiana folk. I love the way they talk, baby. And I love how they be like, you got to get God in your life. I like that, man, because it's just different. So shout out to everybody out there in New Orleans. I really want to visit Louisiana because I want to go see a voodoo priestess out of Louisiana. And then I would like to go to Haiti and see another voodoo priestess just to, get that good energy around me. Shout out to everybody that's on that Haitian Revolution 1804. If you know about Dirty Bookman, I suggest every black person goes and gets Dirty Bookman's prayer, recite it, memorize, trying to get a picture and frame it and have it dope with his prayer in it, because he talks about replacing the imagery of the white man's God. Because basically he kept saying that their God asked them to commit crimes against us. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely think we should start investing in those things. So let's get into it, man. We're going to talk about the Baton Rouge police and how they had Clarence Green just molesting him and pulling down his pants and doing some moist shit. But this is how they really act. So we're going to get into it, man. Hey. Man. Shout out to everybody. Let me read this. Steven Jackson been living good. Now ever since all these events happened, got friends on the other side. Oh man, Screw, you cold for that. You think he be living good? Hey man, educate me. I don't know. I like the All the Smoke podcast. I like those podcasts, but we just got to be mindful, as Nuke would say. We have to be mindful that these major podcasts are being funded by major backers. It ain't like these niggas just went and these are not independent podcasts. They have sponsorships and all that, so they got to be careful what they say, what they do, and how they act outside of that. So we have to be mindful of that too. You know what I mean? That's why a lot of times when you start getting into business with big time players, they're gonna silence a lot of the shit that you say, what you do, but if you want to support your family, that's the way you support your family, then do it. Get your money, man. I don't be tripping off niggas like that. We just gotta stop. Let me just say this. Niggas gotta stop expecting niggas with money to be these big time activists and say what we want them to say. Cause I'm gonna tell you, then why don't you go to your job and stand on the table in front of all these dominant white society people and tell them, fuck you white motherfuckers, y'all ain't shit. And y'all some racist motherfuckers. And guess what? Fuck y'all. I challenge any nigga to do that at his Core Plantation job. Most niggas gonna be like, man, I ain't doing that shit, nigga. I can't lose my good paying job. They pay me $150,000 a year. All I know, there's some big money moving around. Oh yeah, of course. Anytime there's tragedy, when it comes to black folk, there's money to be made off of it. Let me rewind time. When COVID first started, I did a podcast. Go look a year ago. Y'all by now Erica should already know what type of nigga I am. I don't even want, I guess that's not a good thing about me. I want my channel to grow organically, because I just feel like once it gets to a certain thing, them niggas gonna be trying to take my shit down. Because I know some of the shit I be saying, I probably shouldn't be saying. So I don't even want it to get out there like that, or I'm gonna get flagged. So a year ago, when COVID first hit, and they started locking down states and shit like that, do y'all know how many congressmen and congresswomen and senators was selling stock and buying stock and Citrix and other shit like that? These systems where you work from home and all this other shit. Do you know how many fucking white senators and congressmen was doing that shit and got busted? Do y'all know that? You know how many people was profiting off of the demise of people losing their businesses, losing their homes? There's people still losing their homes out here in Las Vegas, Nevada. I can only speak on Vegas. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. They speak their heart and then they paycheck drop. That's a fact. That's a fact. Real. I saw this video. Cops harassing a black guy that had his daughter's ashes in a glass vial. They thought it was drugs. Yes, I saw that too. I started to kind of talk. Sometimes I don't be want to say that shit, man, because I feel bad, man. Like sometimes I just be like, that's fucked up. I saw that. And they were trying to be like, oh, we thought it was drugs. They think anything a nigga got going on is drugs. Stop. I was watching this white police on the news explain how, oh man, they were taking some of the things away from us where we couldn't even pursue certain assailants like that. It's like, stop, man. If y'all know history, law enforcement were slave catchers. That's what they were. Did y'all see that nigga that took a picture? Well, he didn't take a picture. These white police officers or federal agents, whatever, they captured this nigga and then they took a picture with him and the nigga in there smiling. And then you can see people commenting like, I don't think that was a good look. But that's how they really feel when they catch a nigga. Why do you think the last brother that they caught and they shot in the back of the head talking about he was using his police car as a weapon, using his vehicle as a weapon? If y'all saw how they was gearing up to go after him, I was like, damn, did he rape a whole bunch of children? Like, what did he do? What did he do where they acting like that? Man, they was serving a fucking weed warrant or some shit. This is what y'all doing? Well, we got the Jeffrey Dahmers of the world. We got the goddamn Amber Geigers of the world. We got the goddamn Jeffrey Epsteins of the world out here running pedophile rings. The Ghislaine Maxwells, who is so funny. Where the fuck is this bitch at? The Ghislaine Maxwells of the world? But nobody's talking about that. But we talking about policemen acting like they're going to war to go serve a weed warrant where it's legal. Even I don't care what it is. It is not that deep. But Dylan Roof goes into church and shoots a whole bunch of niggas, and then they take him to Burger King. You want to tell me there ain't no racism going on? Stop. The Chicago mayor no longer taking interviews from white men. Laugh out loud. Man, look. This is all I got to say. Barack Obama put his man in charge. Rahm Emanuel, white Jewish man, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to look him up right now just to make sure I'm sure. Laquan McDonald got assassinated on camera. They knew they assassinated him. All those law enforcement, aka race soldiers, went to all those businesses doing a search and seizure on the video footage because they were going to keep the video footage. And if they would have just deleted it. But they can't because that's law. And they knew other restaurants and other business owners would have probably been whistleblowing. So they kept it. Rahm Emanuel was like, well, don't put that shit out until after I become mayor. And this is Barack Obama's homeboy. That's why Barack Obama is not y'all friend, black folk. Stop going around here talking about if Barack Obama was in charge. No, fuck all that. You know what I'm saying? It's so funny. My cousin Mariah, she sent me this thing. I can't wait till Tasha watch. I hope Mariah sent it to you too, Tasha. About Angela Stanton King. She was going in on those motherfuckers, man. Because they trying to push this motherfucking goddamn New World Order bullshit. Where a motherfucker can just grow up and be like, well, I identify as a woman. And black folk think that they got the same privileges as white folk. Okay. Then go in the bathroom with a whole bunch of young white children that are girls. And you a grown ass nigga with a wig on talking about I identify as a woman. And let's see how far that fucking gets you. Because those same rules that apply to the LGBTQ white community, that doesn't apply to black folk. And I don't understand why niggas always be acting like they had the same type of luxuries as the dominant white society. You don't. Actually, you don't have it at all. So I don't understand why people be acting like that, man. You know what I'm saying? And Lori Lightfoot, man. Lori Lightfoot, she's a token. She don't give a fuck. She just want a little power. All these, look at Mayor Keisha Lamami Bottoms. She was chastising niggas because they was tearing up the CNN. First of all, CNN got insurance on those buildings. They got insurance on that shit. They got fire insurance. They got all that shit. So tear it up. They'll put a claim out on that shit, and that shit will all get paid for. They don't give a fuck about that shit. But they just like to watch the gatekeepers like Keisha Lamami Bottoms take up for it. Yeah, how dare y'all tear up the territorial building after what he's done for this community? Stop. We got to start waking up, man. We got to start waking up. We got to start understanding what the fuck is going on. And, man, that chick, Angela Stanton, she was going in. I've heard a lot about her. I just haven't really gotten a chance to sit down and listen. So today, I just listened to it. My cousin had sent it to me and I listened. She was very candid. She was very articulate. I've been saying this whole fucking time. They want Donald Trump to be the face of anti-black racism and racism. Is Donald Trump racist? Yes. I'm not saying he's not racist. Is he about his own people? Yes. The difference is he's going to tell you to your face. Joe Biden locked up more people than Donald Trump could ever do. Joe Biden is the biggest racist you've probably ever seen, but you don't think he's racist because he went to dinner with George Floyd's family. That's symbolism. They're not going to do anything for black people, but they signed an executive order for Asian hate, though. I was watching this thing with Jeremy Lin, too, before I get into the main topic, and Jeremy Lin was like, how I was introduced to the black community was, through Rush Hour, and, that's what I thought that black people... Stop, Jeremy Lin. Stop that shit. You are anti-black racist, and a black person gave you your start, which is Carmelo Anthony, at the Knicks, because they wasn't going to play you. Stop. And you've been a check thief this whole fucking time, because when black folks see something in someone else, we support them. We go out our way to do it. And that's what black folk did to Jeremy Lin. And then Jeremy Lin was talking about, I experienced Asian hate. Stop. And you didn't know you was going to get that pushback because a lot of niggas was probably looking at you like, nigga, what? We put you on. Here's always my thing. Is always another racial group who will make money off of our culture and then play the victim in our culture about certain things, and then at the end play dumb when playing the victim doesn't get them anywhere. Then they start niggas-splaining or China-splaining or whatever the fuck you want to call it. And I'm looking at Jeremy Lin like, brother, you've been a check thief the last 4 or 5 years. You're not as good as everybody thought you were. And the only person that said some real shit was Floyd Mayweather. He was like, bro, if it was a black person, he'd just be another basketball player. But because he's Asian, all of a sudden, we got to make a big deal about it? Nah, stop. And I like what Floyd said, and I stand behind that. I did a podcast on that shit, too. These people are going to benefit off of any type of black suffering. And these law enforcement motherfuckers ain't going to stop. Damn, Kwame is getting a lot of support right now. Yes. We need to start supporting Kwame Brown. You know what? I never really I knew him playing under Jordan was going to be fucked up. Because you had already heard, by that time, Jordan was out the league. You had already heard a lot of stories about Jordan. So I'm like, yeah, that ain't going to be good. That's a kid, man. But for them to do that, I don't think they understood how he felt about those situations, what he was going through. But now he done clapped back and he done had some great comebacks and been calling out names because in his mind, in his platform, I don't got nothing to lose. That's y'all niggas up here cooning and sandboring for these white folk. So in Kwame's mind, that's why people need to get behind Kwame. He's saying real shit. I've listened to about a week's worth of his shit. It ain't never been a time where he done said some bullshit. He always speaking real shit. Every time. Let me see. He is low-key exposing them all finally. All finally people not afraid to speak out. Exactly. You know why? Because Kwame like, well, nigga, I'm good. I bought my mama a house. I'm good with my fam. That's close to me. I don't have to live out of my means, and that should teach most black folk about how to, I think a lot of times we want to live outside of our means. We feel like because we could afford it right then and there, cool. And then we don't want to do anything to jeopardize that because we don't want to lose that financial stability that we have. And we all guilty of that. That's why I always challenge anybody, stop wanting niggas that got bread like LeBron and them to be these social activists that's going to call out a lot of racism and white supremacy. No, they're not going to do that. It's too many corporate hands involved in those investments. Like LeBron, Nike's involved with him. He's not going to say shit to jeopardize that. But we have to understand the business side of it. Even like our brother Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon was in a position to help a lot of black folk. The only thing that I would suggest from anybody, I'm talking about anybody, when you're in that position, sometimes it's just good to me. Sometimes it's just good to me when they give you those platforms just to be mindful of what they're doing. That's all. Because Nick Cannon helps a lot of black people. He's put a lot of black people on, and Nick Cannon, that's his goal, to put black people on and pave a way for black folk and bring people together. And I ain't mad at that, but we can't be mad at him. Then we need to learn from Nick Cannon's situation. So when you get into business with people, don't, just because they throw a lot of money at you, you know, understand why they throwing the money at you and understand what your job is to do. And not to ridicule Nick Cannon or ridicule Steven Jackson or Matt Barnes. Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, they're on a major platform. So there are a lot of things that they can't say and they can't do. So we just have to understand that shit. We need to start putting our focus back on the dominant white society and not taking that energy and going at black folk. I agree with Kwame. Niggas can't wait to go in on a nigga. But then when you be like, hey man, that white motherfucker just told you fuck you. Most niggas be like, well, shit, I ain't tripping off that nigga though. Shit, that nigga gonna call police and all this other shit. That's why I be looking at niggas like, man, y'all be so quick to want to go in on niggas. But then when it comes to these white folk, y'all don't have shit to say. So what I'm going to do is play some audio of the situation. I'm going to play some audio of the situation, and I want y'all to hear exactly what is going on and what they did, which is not going to surprise y'all. Y'all should already know. Let me get this audio. Let me play it. Let me play it. Here we go.
Disturbing video has surfaced of a police officer in Baton Rouge strip searching a 16-year-old and his older brother during a traffic stop in.
But this is what they do. They're gonna find ways to publicly humiliate black folk. They're gonna find ways to do it. So while you praising Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, why are they not addressing all these issues towards black folk? But when it comes to the dominant white society and when it comes to their situations, guess what they're going to address? Asian hate. They're going to address our Latino brothers and sisters. They're going to address the Puerto Ricans. They're going to address every other racial group but black folk. And then when you say, why are you not addressing black folk? We are people of color. That's why I don't use those terms, people of color. As Dr. Claude Anderson teaches, broad and ambiguous terms, my nigga. Like, don't use none of that shit. Even niggas around you. Well, that's racist. They mess with people of color. Be like, bro, don't say that. That could be anybody. Foundational black Americans are native blacks.
Daylight. That officer is now under investigation, and we warn you, the video is hard to watch. Here's CBS's Jeff Pegues.
There's at least 3 or 4 people in the car.
Within minutes after a traffic stop on New Year's Day in 2020, Clarence Green is standing in the street behind an
2020.
SUV with his pants down and his underwear exposed.
Hey,
stop.
Come on, bro. You can't do that, bro.
I can.
The officer groping him in public in a search.
Yeah, because he probably, that officer was probably moist. Because I'm not doing that. It ain't that deep. I'm not doing that. I'm calling a woman officer out, and you can dig all in his balls and in his dick. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. You know, that's a, yeah, no. Look, I'm not doing that. Because he wouldn't have done that to no woman. He wouldn't have been feeling on her pussy because he didn't know what that was going to happen. He should have called a woman officer out there. Hey, can you search his underwear to make sure he doesn't have no paraphernalia? I would have just held him right there. Nigga, I'm not going to be, and I'm not going to be digging all in the nigga's balls and shit. What kind of shit is that? That's not protecting his servant. That's bussy hunting. Shit.
For drugs. And then Green's 16-year-old brother is searched in the same manner.
Come on.
Thomas Frampton is the Green family attorney.
I think what's captured in the video bears a closer resemblance to sexual assault.
Thank you. Look, man, I'm not, go ask any police officer, law, I'm talking about black law, they gonna be like, nigga, I'm not pulling his pants down and rubbing all on his dick to find drugs. Nigga, it ain't that deep. That's some J. Edgar Hoover funny style bullshit. I'm not doing that to find no drugs. What the fuck kind of shit is that? Come on, man.
And it does to constitutional policing. The officers involved were clearly outside the bounds of anything that the Supreme Court has said is permissible for law enforcement officers to do.
Later, body camera footage shows an officer entering the Green family home with his gun drawn and without a warrant.
Just walking in people's house. Because it is. Well, I'm the law, I'm white, you're a nigger, and guess what? I'm going to do what I want to do. And I don't care if it's on camera. Nothing's going to happen to me anyway. Because the people, you're going to invest me, I'm white. The people that's going to be investigating me, they're white. They're on code with me. They don't like niggers either. So what do you think is going to happen? That's why they doing it. They do it because they can.
Officers did find a gun in the search, and Clarence Green ended up spending 5 months in jail until a judge ordered his immediate release, after determining that officers demonstrated a serious and wanton disregard.
Because they didn't want to get sued. The judge was like, bro, they can sue you for that. Because police officers know policy. They don't know the law. When you go to police academy, they're not training you on the law. They're training you on codes and policy. That's it. Codes. That's why when they give you a ticket, it's a code for that. It's a code for this. It's a code for that. It's not law. Laws are different. That's where the judge comes in. That's why you have a fucking judge and a lawyer. Because all police do is police the policies behind the law. That's it. But people don't really understand that. I didn't even really understand it. So I started like looking at tickets and looking at how shit. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, bro, they don't, like, if you talk to the fucking law, they don't know the Constitution. I think people under this impression that police officers in the police academy, they're training them on the law, and they know the law of the land, and all. They don't know none of that shit. They just know codes. That's all they know.
The defendant's constitutional rights.
You think I'm playing with you? I will you up.
Tonight, the Baton Rouge Police Department told us that it had conducted an internal investigation.
And that's, see, correction. It's a nigga in the video. So he should be ashamed of himself. It's a nigga in the video. It's a police officer that's black, and he's sitting up there allowing that shit to go on. I would have pulled that way. Hey, bro, don't do that, man. Like, don't do that. Because we don't know the law. We just happy to be working alongside a white motherfucker. That's all that shit is. We just be so happy and so goofy. Jesus.
But the officers involved in the incident remain on the job.
We're not going to dirty your clothes.
It will be up to the police chief to decide whether the officers will
And the police chief is white, so guess what? They're not getting fired. Stop.
face any sort of discipline.
I think there's a lot of work there to be done by the chief of the Baton Rouge Police Department to determine if policies and procedures were followed. If they were not, then disciplinary action should follow.
Nora, it turns out the police reports in the investigation had been revised nearly a dozen times. The family did file a federal lawsuit, but settled for $35,000.
Jeff.
And that's why. Settle for $35,000. And that lawyer probably got $15,000 of it. What kind of shit is that? Well, here's $35,000. We'll just throw it at you. Hey, what's going on, Miss Wendy? Thank you for stopping on in. How you been, man? How's everything been at the Court Plantation? I know y'all getting it. I already know what the fuck it is, man. Man, I'm telling you, you basically molested them at a traffic stop. And to me, whoever that police is, you moist. Because I'm not, come on, man. Niggas is not doing that. And if you are, that's some weird shit. Because I don't give a fuck if it ain't that deep. Nigga, you're not a narcotics motherfucking detective. So to be going and digging in somebody's dick and balls to look for some drugs, it ain't that deep, nigga. I didn't see it. So I'd be like, well, I don't know. Well, you need to know, nigga. I don't care what my training officer told me. I'm not digging in nobody's dick and balls to find no goddamn drugs. It ain't that deep. And make him pull his pants down. What kind of shit is that? That remind me of in the slave days when they used to make when they used to make the slaves have sex, and then the white man be sitting up there watching the whole goddamn time, just watching, eating popcorn, just doing. I'm like, man, I guess.
Thank you.
Man, that's some crazy shit, man. And they settled for $35,000. That's crazy as a motherfucker, man. I guess. I'll tell you this, man. I just think that's why we got to wake up and we got to handle business, man. We got to start arming ourselves. Everybody, if you ain't got buck breaking, go get buck breaking. I'm going to try to watch that this weekend. Because, everything is strategic, too. Everything is strategic. The Quiet Place, they pushed that movie back a whole year and was like, all right, well, we're going to put it out. We'll put it out around Memorial Day or Labor Day, wherever the fuck holiday that's coming up. So, because it's about money. It ain't a damn thing funny. On vacation, helping Tariq and the crew promote the movie. Yeah, I got it. Start in city to city, tour soon. I know. I wish she did it here. That's why I'm telling you right now, man. I got some plans for Vegas, man. I got some plans. I got some stuff I'm about to start doing. And my thing is, I don't even want to say it, but fuck, I'm gonna say it. My thing is, you heard it first. I want to have a bookstore for Vegas, and I'm not talking about the West Las Vegas Library. I'm talking about an actual bookstore where I'm talking about knowledge base. I'm talking about all the great authors, like every author you can think of, every book you can think of about our history. You know what I'm saying? Every book you can think of that it relates to us. Everything. I'm talking about incense, sage. I'm talking about health shit too, from my IRA herbs. I'm talking about sea moss. Like, that's my whole goal for Vegas, man. Because, everybody making sea moss, and I get it. I understand that. But we need a place where we can go and read and study and still sharpen steel. Like, we don't have that out here in Vegas. I feel like everybody want to be Hollywood and everybody want to be popping, but nobody wants to just, okay, let's get this knowledge. Let's have a knowledge-based conversation about what we can do to make things better by establishing a system of justice. That's what I want. I want it to be cool type where people could come. Oh, you want to buy a book? Buy a book. Woo, go ahead. You go down there and sit. Hey, man, you want some sea moss? Woo, woo. You want some health products? Because that's what I feel like that's what's missing out here in Vegas. Already threw us in. Still pending, though. We have to find a venue. Straight up, man. Because I think everybody needs to watch Buck Breaking. I think reading is fundamental. And I don't think reading 1,000 pages a day is fundamental, because it's about how much knowledge you can retain. I think about pacing yourself and having goals for yourself so you can gather this knowledge and understand what it's about. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I got a whole bunch of plans and vision of how I want to do it. I want to have people come out, you know what I'm saying, and not come out on no, let's go Instagram live so people can come to my spot. Nah, man, I ain't with all that. I want to have spoken word. I want to have real shit. And I want to have people, okay, we have people like EYL. Well, EYL is already big, but people like that come out and speak to the community about stock, bonds, 401k, mutual funds. But not on no, well, here I'm selling my shit. But just know, hey, man, this is for the people. Y'all need to understand what it's about. Then have people come out for real estate. I think a lot of times if we give the knowledge away for free, a lot of times black folk don't respect it sometimes. Because we don't respect shit we don't pay for. That's how we've been socialized. We only respect shit we pay for. Some people do, like me. I feel like when I'm on YouTube and I'm listening to a YouTube channel, I'm just listening to a podcast like Tariq Nasheed, or I'm listening to somebody drop game, nigga, I'm taking notes mentally. Like I said, I used to watch his podcast all the time. Zoe Williams, when he used to have Kevin Beardron on there. That's how I learned about police and the law and learned a lot. I got his books, The Great Book of Melon. I got 2 of those books over there. I got the Police Stop, the Know Your Rights and shit, because these niggas been speaking this shit for at least the last 10 years. Because I've been listening to them the last 8 years I've been listening to them. And they used to have this beginning of the show where they would just talk about books that they read. And I hated that I didn't know the books. I used to be so mad about that shit. Keep your vision strong. It will happen. Oh, I know it will. That's my goal. That's why y'all niggas, hey, why you think you see me, man? Because that's my goal. Because my goal eventually is to do that shit. Do podcasts from the shop, from the bookstore, have other people come on. I got a whole little thing. Me and Nick been kind of chopping it up about some of the things that we gonna start doing, man. We just got to get our schedules tight and do things, man, like I used to do. Because I think it's very imperative that there are podcasts out there that are speaking about real shit and not just berating our society and denigrating what we do. Because there's enough podcasts with that. There's enough YouTube channels with that. That's why I deleted a lot of my videos that I had like that on there. Because I know I can do funny shit, but that lane is already taken by other people. I just wanted to do something different from my perspective. And I don't claim to have known anything. I ain't read a whole lot of books, but I'm going to tell you a good way to kind of retain the knowledge. Pace yourself. Don't just be trying to read to outread somebody. Read because you're gathering the knowledge. I don't care how long it take you. Look, I'm still reading A Price for a Pound of Flesh. I don't give a fuck. Once you have that in your mind, I'm reading for me. I'm not reading for other people. You know what I'm saying? Yep, Kevin is good on law enforcement and law. See, Miss Wendy know about Kevin Berenger. Miss Wendy, I got his great book of Melanin, 1 and 2. I'm gonna show you one day. I got his Know Your Rights cards. Because when I lost my wallet, these motherfuckers tried to steal it. I had a Know Your Rights card in there. But now I got the Know Your Rights card. I got the everything that come along with it. I got that shit. You know what I'm saying? And then eventually I want to take his classes about, unplugging yourself. He's got his own website, man. I've been listening to him and Zoe do the book shit. That's what got me on my shit. I'm not finna sit up here in front. Like, the only book I think that I didn't get from them was The Burglary. This book I got from what you call it? I'm blanking on that brother's name. He got Gaddafi's dad, I think. Gaddafi's dad, from the Black Panthers and Sekou, they were on Sway in the Morning. They were on Sway in the Morning, and they were talking about, you guys want to know about racism? It's a good book written by this white lady. It's called The Burglary. It'll tell you about what was done to Black Panthers and done to us. And then I went and got that book. That was like one of the only books that I probably got that I didn't get from Kevin Berenger and Zoe Williams. A lot of the other books I got from them niggas. I'm not finna sit up here and lie and be like, no, nigga. Niggas be frontin' too. No, nigga, I got them shits from them. And I got other books from like Craig Fax. Like he talking. I got some books from that nigga too. Like, I think when people realize that every day is an understanding day, a school day, every day is an education day. When you view life like that, I think you can put your ego to the side and make shit happen for yourself. But when you feel like you know everything, or you're intimidated by somebody that knows shit, like, that's your brother. Like, he's on the same team as you. You should be happy to be around somebody like that so they can put you up on the game. And niggas that do got the knowledge, stop walking around here with your head up high. Like, and I'm not talking about head up high like you shouldn't have confidence. I'm talking about like head up in the motherfucking clouds where you don't want to game nobody up. You know what I'm saying? We got to be like that. Craig and 5150. We are a network. Exactly. Yep. Like my family, we know Craig. Like, this ain't no bullshit. Like, well, I know his peoples know his peoples. But I'm the type of person, I like to watch a person win. I don't want to be one of those type of niggas. Like, niggas know me, like, people that really know me, like, nah, Warren like to just kind of do his own shit. I don't like to watch nobody build their foundation and their platform, watch them build it, and then because I don't want to build mine, let me just go snag onto their shit. No, man, enjoy what they're doing and be happy for them and be happy from a distance and support them. Stop being a hater. Like, niggas be like socially engineered that if you know somebody, even if you know somebody through somebody, you feel like, well, this is my chance to get on. No, sometimes you just back and nigga, your turn to come and watch a nigga from afar and support the nigga from afar. So, and that's what I think, man. When you hear people speak and they mention books, stop, write the name of the book down, and then continue. That book might change your perspective on a whole lot of shit that maybe you didn't think about. Like, for instance, when I read They Came Before Columbus, I remember I heard Kevin Berenger, Zoe talking about it heavy. And then it was so scary to me because, wait, true, when others win, we win because we learn. Exactly. That's facts, Wendy. Oh, Tasha, man, you ain't late. Who give a fuck, man? I don't be tripping off that shit, man. Look, you know I'm so scared. You know that. Look, if it's too many people in the chat, they'll cut the motherfucking stream off. You already know how they done it, nigga. But I remember I just kept hearing them talk about they came before Columbus, but I've been concerned. They came, like Zoe would say it all the time. Kevin Berenger would be like, you want to know about the Moors? You want to know about what happened? Read this book, right? This was like since 2013, 2012, 2013, they had been saying this shit. Then I started hearing like Professor Griff said, I started hearing Red Pill and Blue Pill said, I'm like, God damn, I need to get this book. Then I hear Tariq Nasheed talk about it. Then I started hearing all these people. I'm like, what the fuck? I need to get this book because everybody's referencing this book. Man, I go get the book. I was addicted. I couldn't put the book down. And then I started telling Tasha about the book. I'm like, hey, my nigga, you need to get this book. And then Tasha went and got it. That was like one of the first books I told her. I was like, go get that book right there, man. That book is cold. Now, the beginning is a little perplexed and complex because you like, damn, it is. It throw you off. Like, what the fuck is he talking about? But as you read the book and you take your time and read it, you like, oh, shit. Like I was talking to Tasha. Tasha, remember? Hey, T, so resting up. I see you tomorrow. Like, hey, Tasha, remember we was talking? She broke down this one section, and she was not lying, how the Moors was looking at motherfucking Christopher Columbus like, we should just kill you and throw you over the motherfucking banister of the ship, or the balcony of the ship, and then just sail to where the fuck we want, because he didn't know how to get around. The nigga got lost so many fucking times. If I'm wrong, Tasha, correct me if I'm wrong. But if I'm wrong from that book, because I ain't read the book in a minute, but if I'm wrong, and they came before Columbus, he was lying to the Spanish crown because he wanted to sail and basically go conquer other places and kind of be the king over there or whatever. That's what Christopher Columbus really wanted to do. But he didn't have no money, and he didn't know how to build no boats. And the Moors were the only ones that knew how to build the boats, because I got this book and I got to read it. But I was kind of like Googling some of the, like not Googling, but reading some of the reviews, and I like to read the Cliff Notes. And I think it was like the last stand the Moors, the last stand in Spain or whatever. Like the Moors before they left Spain or whatever. And I don't know if it was in Grenada, it was somewhere. I'm not blanking. I know I've heard Tariq talk about it, but it was in that book, and I've heard other people talk about it. With like the real meaning of Thanksgiving and how the Moors basically just turned over their ruling back to the white people, and then basically they had all the scripts and maps and education and all this other stuff, just like how they raided the Library of Alexandria or whatever. And see, we were the ones that discovered that the world was round. It was Moors had discovered that shit. It wasn't no white people. That's why we hear niggas talk about, oh, the world is square and all that. Niggas, stop. Those concepts came from melanated folk. See, damn, we always miss the opportunity to get rid of the opposition. Side-eyeing Christopher Columbus. Hell yeah. So basically, from this book, I'm only paraphrasing. Go read the book and correct me. But Tasha just read the book. He was lying to the Spanish crown because he just wanted to go sail. When he did it by himself, he got lost. So he basically took one of their ships with some white people, and they got lost. Like, they couldn't find no land. They didn't know where they was fucking going. They couldn't sail. They just didn't know what they was doing. They had no navigation skill set. So what happened was they went back. But when they went back, they got the Moors, because the Moors had already traveled and was already doing business with other countries, and we just was already here. So they needed so Christopher Columbus lied to the Spanish crown because they were funding all his shit. That shit cost money for the boat to be built, for the ship to be built, for food, just in case if you get lost, for, crew and shit like that. That shit costs money. So Christopher Columbus didn't have no money, so he had to lie to them. He go over there to motherfucking, he trying to get to India. So then they make it to the United States of America. That's where he thought he was going. Boom, they get there or whatever. And then that's how he started naming them Indians and all this other shit. But he thought he was going to India. And then they got there. And when he got there to the United States of America Incorporated, it was already niggas here. He wrote it down in a diary. I don't understand why That's why I get so irritated when black folk be like, yeah, man, Christopher Columbus discovered. I'm like, bruh, that's what white folk told you. Why would you believe everything they tell you? They also tell you that they're the godfathers of math. But clearly, I've read 4 fucking books that discuss that Pythagoras and all those other motherfuckers and Aristotle, they were waiting years to get into the mystery schools and commit. That's black people. So why would you? And then go read the book, they Stolen Legacy. That tells you exactly where they was getting all that information from. They didn't know none of this shit. That's why we're praising Aristotle and Socrates. Them dumb motherfuckers was going to Kemet and waiting at the feet to get into those mystery schools, to be enlightened by the Moors. And then that's another thing too. That's why we gotta be on our shit. Another reason why we gotta be on our shit is this. I forgot what movie I was watching. Oh, I was watching City on a Hill. It's about Boston in like the 90s and the crooked police and violence, whatever. And there was a scene, Kevin Bacon, he plays like an Irishman. You know what I'm saying? But his wife is Italian, right? So his daughter brings home an Italian, whatever. So they're sitting at the dinner table and they was talking, and then they were basically the daughter and the wife was basically like, they didn't really want to talk about that shit about Italians and stuff like that, because Kevin Bacon's character was basically like, yeah, we fucking know, you guys are fucking basically, a lake away or whatever from Africa, you guys right there, basically calling Sicilians niggas because of the Moors. You know what I'm saying? Like, these people know. Just like when I was telling y'all about the that movie I was watching when that white girl didn't know she was black, but they kind of twist up the movie. The real story is on Amazon Prime, where this white Jewish lady was having an affair with this black dude that was real prominent in the black community in New York. She had a baby. She tried to pass the baby off as white because the baby was real light skinned, but as the baby got older, the baby started having lips and nose like us. Well, the white Jewish lady married a white Jewish man, had an affair. They never talked about it. He thought it was his baby at first. And what they tried to do is tell the daughter, well, on your father's side, he's Sicilian and his dad was a Moor. You have Moorish blood in you. See, they know our history. We just don't know it. These old school Italians, these old school Jewish people, they know the fuck the Moors are. And they showed the daughter, which is not his real daughter, she was his stepdaughter, they showed a picture, and the nigga did kind of look black. You could tell he had Moorish blood in him. And they was like, he was basically like, well, you could probably be black because my great-grandfather, he was Moorish. He was half Italian, half Moorish. Basically half black. So that's probably where it came from. And then later on down the line, it came out that she was just a nigga. You know what I'm saying? So I just say that to say they know our history, my nigga. Like, they know what the fuck we got going on. Why you think they don't like Kwame Brown? Because Kwame Brown was calling out all that racist bullshit. He was calling it out. Like, I got love for all the Smoke podcasts and those brothers, but it is so easy for y'all to kind of go at us, but ain't nobody gonna go at Rachel Nichols. Ain't nobody gonna go at all these white people. And if y'all do it in such a subtle way, and we understand y'all making y'all money. But did nobody speak up on Paul Pierce's behalf when he got fired? And every white person that worked there go to a strip club and they are real raunchy and nasty and do a lot of bullshit. But did nobody speak up for Paul Pierce and be like, well, damn, this is normal behavior. He was on Instagram Live. If it was that bad, Instagram would have took the feed down. But this is what they do. And they kind of segregate. Look at what they did to LeVar Ball. Well, LeVar Ball can no longer come on ESPN. He's like, I don't work for them. He was like, I don't work at ESPN. I don't care if they don't interview me no more. I don't work there. And we have to start having that mentality. Look at everybody shame motherfucking LeVar Ball because he wanted his son to have his own shoe company instead of waiting on Adidas and Nike and all this other stuff. And Adidas and Nike, they don't like that type of shit. That's why they didn't want his sons to do good, because they like, we don't want a whole bunch of niggas not fucking with us. We're the gatekeepers. Imagine if a whole lot of other fathers is like that. That's why I like Kwame Brown. You could tell Kwame Brown, he probably didn't have that luxury playing for Washington with Michael Jordan, because if he would have had that luxury and he maybe had a older male figure in his life at the time, it wouldn't have been as bad for him. You know, Michael Jordan, he just want to win. You know, that ain't his son, so he doesn't have that type of obligation to him. But everybody around him, instead of them laughing at him, they should have been pulling him to the side like, look, my nigga, this is what it is. Especially when you black. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you like that. It's like, bro, it's 10 times harder for us. So you got to make it happen. You can't sit up there and expect these people to want things to be fair for you. If that's the case, then why don't we ask the NBA why, after Donald Sterling went on that nigger rant, why would y'all sell it to another white Jewish person? Why didn't y'all make sure y'all was going to sell it to a black person? That would have been a better symbolism than doing what y'all did. We're going to take the team from him. Yeah, you didn't really take the team. You made him sell it. He got $1 billion from it. He probably paid $300,000 or $1 million for the team or whatever, and he got damn near $1 billion from it. He's still making money. And then you sold it to another white Jewish man. And you got all these black people out here that could have put their money together to go buy the team. You didn't even do that because you didn't care. Because at the end of the day, it ain't really about empowering black folk. It's about black folks being in a subservient position where they could be the $40 million slave. Just like, look, y'all looking at LeBron and all them like they great. And them niggas work a job just like me and you. That's why I don't be expecting these niggas to say anything of any substance. They work jobs. Look, they work just like we work. Don't forget that, man. But hey, man, I appreciate everybody listening, subscribing. Hey, man, I appreciate that, man. We got to keep it going. And Ms. Wendy, I'm telling you, that is my goal. That is why a nigga be, at the Court Plantation and doing my thing, man, because that is my goal, to establish a real bookstore out here. I'm talking about with the sage, the incense, the sea moss, all that shit, where you can come there, you can chill, you can research, have the real books. We have the real DVDs, not just nigga DVDs with a whole bunch of nonsense. I'm talking about, collectibles items of Tariq Nasheed's Hidden Colors 1-5 and Buck Breaking. Every black child needs to watch those. They need to watch those. Every black child needs to know about the Haitian Revolution. I'm tired of us watching the Underground Railroad and motherfucking Harriet Tubman. No diss, I gotta love Harriet Tubman, but goddamn, put some respect on her name. Y'all just keep showing it from a subservient position where we just slaves and we always like this. Why don't you show us when we were Moors? You notice they don't never do movies about the Moors, but they always do movies about us enslaved. Y'all notice that. And then when you start talking about the Moors, motherfuckers, they change the subject. They act like that don't exist because they did a movie about the Moors. It was called The Longest Ship. I think with Sidney Poitier. Go look that up. Google it. Google it. It's called The Longest Ship with Sidney Poitier, and he was a Moor, and he had a perm, and it was all these white people in chains. That's why we're in chains, because they know what we've done to them. They know that we had the knowledge. We would take tributes like their children. We're going to educate your children, and we want all the women. They know that. These Europeans know what the fuck why do you think they praised Dracula? Go look up Dracula. Go look up Vlad the Impaler. They did a movie and had his picture all in the movie. And if I didn't read and study, I wouldn't know who that was. It was called Vampires in the Bronx. And it was on Netflix. It was called Vampires in the Bronx. We have to evolve and be empowerment. Yeah, it was called Vampires in the Bronx, right? And these are vampires. So the kids are running around there and they see the vampires and all this other stuff. And what the vampires were doing was they was buying up all the property and gentrifying the Bronx. So they had a great twist on it. And then after they did that, they was like, they had a basically a do boy doing all they bidding. But their symbol was Vlad the Impaler. So don't tell me these people don't know their history. And you wouldn't know who Vlad the Impaler is if you ain't read the book. I read the book. That nigga was cold. And he would drink Moorish blood. He would kill Moors and drink their blood because he felt like their blood would give him power. And that's where the story Dracula comes from. Now, I'm paraphrasing it, but if you don't believe, go read the book for yourself. But hey, man, reading is fundamental. If you ain't got to do nothing but read 5 minutes a day, it's better than not reading at all, man. It's better than not reading at all. If you can't read every day, read every other day. Read every other day. That's it. Hey, I appreciate everybody listening, subscribing. Tosh, you need to check out, if you go back to the beginning, shout out to Mariah. Did Mariah send you something on Instagram about Angela Stanton King? Because she was going in on those motherfuckers, man. If you see Mariah, this is my cousin I'm talking about. Tell Mariah good looking on that one. Now that one, hey, I was trying to send it to myself so I can play audio of it. She was going in. For all y'all who don't know who Angela Staten King is, go on Angela Staten King's thing and listen to her interview. And she was checking the shit out of their asses. Because they was basically, long story short story long, they was basically trying to shame her because she was doing business, business with Trump. And then when she started breaking down facts, sound like me. Motherfuckers talk all this shit about Donald Trump, but motherfucking Joe Biden done more harm than any other president could ever do. Yes, Angela Staten King. And see, she hit me because I had already been hearing about her for a long time, but at the time I wasn't really paying attention. So my cousin sent me this thing. She sent it to me and I said, I'm gonna watch it. So I watched it and I'm like, damn, this sister is going in. Like, it wasn't no, she was going in. And I'm like, man, and I just started following her on her Instagram. So I appreciate everybody listening, subscribing. You already know what it is. You know what it ain't. If you're around a nigga, the nigga talking about, oh man, I don't see no racism. Like them niggas, like Kendrick Perkins and them niggas talking about when Kyrie called out the racism in Boston. They gonna say, I ain't see no racism. Guilty, nigga. You a Sambo. Stop it. Hey, man, I'll fuck with y'all on Saturday if Nick come through. I'm out. Peace.